I am here with George Gallagher, recent graduate of the Life Accelerator. Tell us about you, where you're from, what do you do?
Thank you. It's really great to be here. I'm 24 years old. I'm from a bit outside London, near Reading. And at the moment, I'm a management consultant with one of the big four accountancy firms. And how I got into that, I did a physics degree at university, and then decided actually after 4 years of learning about space and all these complex equations that that wasn't what I wanted to do. There wasn't enough people interaction in that field, and really I thought it'd be interesting to learn about business. So I took this job as a consultant, and after a year and a half of that, I learned so much in that time, so much about business and about myself, and I've never worked so hard and enjoyed it so much. At school and university, I coasted a bit. I found it easy to just kind of do well, and this really pushed me. And so I've really loved doing that and learning so much. And then I sort of realized that this is that growth that I was seeing in that area of career. I wanted that for my personal life as well. I've been pursuing kind of self-development for a while, and I was seeing so much improvement at work and not in my personal life. That's kind of what encouraged me to take the plunge with the Life Accelerator, and it's really been amazing.
Okay, I remember your video you did down by Tower Bridge, right?
Yes, exactly.
And we have all sorts of different people on this course, but you have a pretty unique story. You're young.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously finding success in your life, and a lot of times people then they don't look for other success. So I think it's really interesting that you're like, okay, this is going well. Let me see if I can do that in all aspects.
Yes.
Which is interesting. Why London Real?
Why London Real? Well, I found London Real by accident. It was my bad habits of procrastinating a little bit instead of revising for exams, because I knew that I didn't have to do that much. I would just be doing research on the internet, and I was watching various people like Elliot Hulse, and then stumbled across London Real, watched a few episodes, then went away from it again, and then rediscovered it not that long ago, and got back into it and was really loving the message and the guests, and I could see your evolution from watching older episodes and then watching newer episodes, and then I saw the Life Accelerator, and just thought, right, I need to go for this. This seems perfect for where I am, because I know you had an engineering background, and I was kind of like, that's a little bit like me, and I could see your journey from being in very corporate environment and then coming out of that. And at the time I wasn't sure if I even wanted to stay with what I was doing, so I just thought, right, I'm gonna go for this and take the plunge. And you said after the course, if you're not satisfied, you can get your money back. And I was like, right, well, if it's rubbish, I'm going to be there saying I want it back. But it's the opposite. I feel like knowing now, I would have paid more.
Yeah, because you're there in December. I mean, it's a reasonable investment. What made you say, okay, I'm just going to go for it?
Yeah, I just thought, actually thinking about it, I was like, I've got some cash lying around, and I'd been thinking, do I want to invest this in something? And I thought, I think it was Mark Cuban, one of the billionaire investor. He said, keep cash, don't invest it, because he gets this amazing night's sleep because he's not worrying about all this money doing different things and could it go up or could it go down. And the interest rates are awful at the moment, and I just thought, why not invest in myself? Because that's the most important thing I've got. You can invest in something that makes more money, but then you've just got more money. And if you don't know what to do with it, or if you're doing the wrong things with it, then it's completely a waste of time. So I decided to take that and invest it in myself.
Wise words.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you join us. Jan 3rd comes around,
Yeah.
and you start. Module 1, Facebook group, 60 people from around the world, first call. What are your first impressions of the course?
Yeah, because I joined it really for me, I hadn't appreciated the benefit that I would have from the group. I saw the idea of the accountability. I thought was great, but I hadn't really conceptualized it that there would be this amazing group of people who were coming on the journey with me. And I mean, people pay thousands for MBAs, largely because of the network you get. And being in the green room just now, talking to some of my these people that I've from other parts of the world, and I've watched all their videos and feel like I kind of know them, and now we finally get to meet. And it's just amazing to have this support group of these like-minded people. But I joined, January 3rd. I got my intro video out the way before Christmas, one of the first ones, so I'd go for it. And then I had a really long, extended New Year's celebrations with my friends in a mansion in the countryside. Came back and then was like, oh, this is going to be a lot of work to do this. Procrastinated a little bit on getting my second video out. And then I got into the swing of it. And really went for it with all the exercises and was kind of diligently going for it. But actually, interestingly, thinking about it afterwards, and I've been continuing to reflect, and that's something that I found really valuable, was those 4 questions you ask. What are you afraid of? What are you putting off because it's uncomfortable? What's your purpose? What would a high performance person do? And I was reflecting on those more and more. And Alex Biggs, one of the other graduates, his review at the end of it, he was saying, I'm going to show you who I am. And I realized that I really need to do that more. And I hadn't done that as much on the course. I'd kind of played my style that I've been doing for a while, which is kind of being a bit too measured, a bit too reserved. It all came down to a fear of social embarrassment, really, and that you would put your authentic self out there and get rejected, and that would be uncomfortable. So I was playing it safe, and I found that I was always, when meeting new groups, I would be too quiet because I didn't want to make a bad impression, but actually being quiet is an impression in itself. And I felt I even did that on this course. I was diligent and followed all the steps and got great results, but I wasn't broadcasting myself authentically. And so I've set some rules, like actually one I applied last night, which was if I'm at an event and they ask for volunteers, I'm the first hand up. So, who wants to come do the Wim Hof on stage? I was like, yes, that's me.
Yeah,
right.
That's great.
And then I regretted afterwards not actually at any point in the night getting the microphone and saying something and projecting myself more. But on the walk here, I actually filmed. I owed you the last 4 questions video. I hadn't done that. So I filmed it on the way here over Tower Bridge. So kind of harking back to my first video. But I was surrounded by all these people walking and just talking about what I'm afraid of really loudly in front of all these people that I was walking past.
Yeah, good. Very
really
powerful.
good.
Yeah, I still say my affirmations out loud. And now I actually force myself to say them louder when someone walks by me.
Yeah.
Or the worst one is when they overtake me, and I'm like, okay, so now they're going to hear all of them.
Yeah, you can hear them just over your shoulder, and I've been doing it too, saying them out loud, and it's very weird. Or when I'm just behind someone and they start looking round at you, and you're like, I look them in the eye now.
So you can show them who you are.
I'm doing this, exactly.
What was your big aha moment on the course where you're like, okay, wow, something's happening here. I'm stringing something together, where you notice something change?
Yeah. Very early on, the mindset, I've wanted to meditate for a while. I've known the benefits of it, but never been able to find the time to just sit there. I realized actually it's a false economy, because by taking that time, I save so much time. Because I'm quite calm and measured. I don't meditate to stop me being angry or anything like that. But really for me, it's to quieten the fog and the distraction in my mind. And by taking that time, I gain more time in the day because I'm more focused. But the low media diet combined with the daily meditation gave me so much more time and space and focus that I found that really profound. I was already doing the gratitude, but those two combined were really powerful. And then actually the diet, I had quite a healthy base diet, and then I would just mess it up when I was on busy projects by snacking on sugary rubbish. But my base diet was okay, and I kind of went into, you said at the beginning, trust the process. And I was kind of thinking with the diet that I would say, oh, I don't want to do that, you know, gluten-free is a fad or something like that. But I said, okay, I'll trust it, I'll just do it all. And it's actually it's changed my relationship with food, particularly the earth-grown nutrients idea. And now there were particular vegetables that I was fussy about when I was younger. Don't like tomatoes, don't like cucumber, don't like sweet corn. And then this week, every week, I've been having this salad from the canteen at the client I'm at. And there's cucumber, there's tomato, there's all these things that I used to hate, and I'm actually really enjoying it because it feels so vibrant and healthy to have that. So it's been a mindset shift from just being, I think before, I was staying lean because I was applying willpower and discipline, and now it's easy because I just enjoy eating those vegetables and all that stuff, like making my own hummus, eat it with raw celery and stuff. I would have laughed at that a year ago. I thought that's just, you know, vegetarian, what is that? You know, there's macho meat, that's what it's all about, lifting weights. And then I'd already had the paradigm shift with movement from watching the Ido Portal episodes.
Yeah, you busted out some crazy moves on those videos.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize you.
I
So,
know.
yeah, you had your movement down. But, you know, it's so simple because if you are a calm person to say, I don't need the meditation.
Yeah.
Or if you have a great diet to say, oh, I can eat the gluten or I can eat the sugar because I'm pretty skinny.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that these things are to get you to even more optimal level.
Yeah.
So that you might get an extra 5 or 10% from these practices, and it's a game changer.
Exactly.
And so by eating, like, you know, great portions of healthy vegetables, all of a sudden, you know, you're just jacked even higher up.
Yeah.
With energy. So
that's why I took it, because some people I know on the course were at quite a low point in their life, and you know, they've seen these amazing transformations. I was not in that place. I was kind of in a good place, but I wanted to take things to the next level, and I knew I couldn't do that just by myself, and that's why I really went for the course, was to take everything really up to a next level.
yeah, what'd you struggle with?
What did I struggle with? The relationships was hard, I have to say. Phoning those people up was difficult, but very rewarding, I think. The mentor exercise, actually, I realized that I was procrastinating on it. I suppose partly because it was the end of the course, and there wasn't that accountability so much, because it was kind of like, it's over. But one thing I think was because I was in between, for quite a bit of the course, I was in between two different projects at work, so I was having a little bit of downtime. It was a lot easier to stick to it. Talking to one of the guys from Oz, who's staying up at 4 a.m. to join the live calls, he said, I found it so tough. But I said, you know, that's amazing because you've still stuck to it, and now when you don't have to do that, it's plain sailing. Whereas I was the opposite. I found it easier on the course, and I know I'm going to go into busy project environments. And this week I just started a new project, and it was full pace. You're with the team, longer hours, and then you're living in a hotel with them. It's totally full on. And people always say on these away projects that you put on a lot of weight because you've got a hotel and you've got the expenses for your dinner. And so you're just eating in restaurants every night, and so you have the dessert, you drink as a team. So I just found that I knew it was coming, and I had to prepare for that. So I wrote down, you know, how am I going to maintain my meditation? How am I going to fit it in? How am I going to maintain my eating practice? Okay, well, I'm just hard and fast, no drinking in the week, no dessert at the restaurant, you know, no gluten, and just be really rigid with it. And people, when they see that, there's a little bit of, you know, why aren't you drinking? Oh, come join in. And then they see that, and they really, actually, they appreciate it. They respect what you're doing. And so having planned for it, now that's the struggle. I didn't struggle so much on the course. It was more, okay, I know I will have more obstacles to overcome. And so it's going to be interesting to watch it play out over this year.
Yeah, well, it's good you're putting that stuff into place, because as we saw in the course, it's like everyone's going to face resistance this year. And the question is, do you bounce back into the old you that says, oh, I'm on the project, I'm in hotels, I'm supposed to drink with the team, otherwise I look like an outsider? Or are you going to just set your standards and be who you know is going to be the best you? It's going to make you perform much better during the day. And like you said, your team will actually respect you.
Yes.
Because they'll be like, okay, that guy's got his game on.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how that stuff plays out.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, or the day before, we got a call with everybody.
Yeah.
Who is George going to be on that day?
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes down to that being authentically me and projecting that much louder. I've, over the last year, looking back from New Year's 2017, this is looking back over this year, I think I will have been doing things like 10 vlogs in 10 days. I'm going to make myself do things like that to really push myself to express myself. And I know I've got an affirmation that involves that. And it says that will draw more admirers. It will also draw more critics, but I'm comfortable with that. So I think I'll be expressing myself much more authentically and bravely, and actually pushing myself to do that. And then, of course, I will have spent the whole year with these habits, instilling them, making them rock solid, and they will have just taken me to a next level in terms of the movement, the weight loss, staying lean, the relationships, cutting them down, prioritizing the few, and then really spending that time. And that's going to be a key support for me.
Okay.
At the start of the course, I said a big decision for me was whether do I stay in this job or do I go do something else? And that was something I wanted to work out, and having meditated on it, doing the doing the 3-hour walk that we had to do and meditating on it all, I realized there's maybe 9 different areas of consulting within what I do, and at the end of the scheme I'm on, you pick one. And at the start, I didn't know which I was interested in. And getting to the start of this course, I was like, do I want to keep doing this? Or do I want to do something else? And I've now zoned in and said, okay, this is the one area I'm going to focus on. Promotion in the summer, that's what I want to do. And I can definitely get at least another year of valuable growth. Because for me, it's the learning and the growing that really lights up my eyes, the fire in my eyes, and learning new stuff, developing myself, and I know at some point it will become comfortable and then I'll have to move on. But I feel really good that I've now, for the rest of the year, I know exactly what I'm doing, what I'm going to get out of it.
Good. I don't want to hear another person that quit their job, so thank you. Thanks to me. Say we walked out in the street and we happened to bump into, by Tower Bridge, the old George.
Yeah.
What do you notice about him, the guy that didn't take this course?
The old George, well, if you bumped into him in the street, he would probably kind of mumble hello as he was walking past, whereas the new George would see you coming and say, Brian, how are you? How was that thing that you were doing last week that you told me about? So yeah, the old George would be less engaged, less energetic. I think I had just too calm and measured and placid, and too much of a people pleaser, and being that nice guy, and not really, if you please everyone, you don't ever really get that amazing connection, and you also don't get that strong negative impulse, but you don't really excite anyone. And I think I'd love it when I was with someone that was high energy, because then my energy went up with them, and I found that to be a much more comfortable state. But then it's producing that from within, that energy, and I don't think I had that before.
Yeah,
and I think now it's growing every day.
And I want to see a lot more of that coming
Yeah.
up. Someone's watching us right now, and they're thinking, I don't know, I might take this course, I might not take this course. What do you tell them?
It depends where you're at, but where I was at, it just seemed like exactly the right thing. I hesitated about the money particularly, but I went for it. I knew that there was the guarantee. That was kind of part of what did it, was like, if it's awful, they said they'll give me my money back. Okay, I trust London Real as a brand and as a company. You're not just some random person on the internet that's going to walk away with my money. But I'd say just do it. It was the, Dan Pena might put another word in there, but it was that group, that accountability that I've just never seen on other online courses before, never seen it offered, and that was what really did it for me. I bookmarked the time for the live calls and things. There was the spreadsheet, and that just really kept me to task when I could easily have just not done it. I'm busy, I've got this and that going on, making excuses, and it was that accountability that really got me to do it, and that was what I valued most, I think, was just it made me do it. And so if you're someone that's got the right intentions but struggling to make it happen, those habits stick, then I'd say really go for it. And I shared my experiences in the in a review, and it got 5,000 views on LinkedIn.
That's crazy.
And I wasn't really expecting that. And I've had partners at the company I'm at, saying, I want you to come and speak to my team about your experiences, and I want to hear about it. And so it's like opening up all these things.
Wow.
So,
and that's just you being authentic you.
exactly.
And so that's incredible, and I feel this about you, and I'm so glad you've recognized this about you.
Yeah.
And I think you probably got that through the meditation and the low media diet, because if you weren't doing that stuff, it's easy to kind of go on in our lives. You can get very high on your own success, and you can be like, no, I got this, I'm doing this. But to recognize that you need to be more of you, I think is great. Because I see a lot of power inside you, George. I see a bad motherfucker. And I know sometimes, especially in the business you're in and the background you're in from school, because I was in the same ballpark, it's not always in your interest to pop outside of the, stochastic bell curve.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, you're never going to really make a big impression that way.
Yeah.
You're never going to start a company that way. You're never going to make partner that way, really, or make a big movement. You need to really be you and jump out. And I think people want that from you. So I would love to see you. And I think you're going to be shocked how much people resonate with you when you decide to just belt it out your chest and yell a little bit louder.
Yeah.
And you'll find what's probably happening right now. People are connecting with you about, this blog post you wrote, which, well, that's great. I'm so glad you're seeing a little bit of a taste of that.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a taste for it, and I just want so much more of that.
Good. Well, that's a huge win, man. That makes me happy right there.
Yeah.
For the whole course. And I see the way you move and things like that, and I was like, wow, that's a special guy. And you're right, you didn't broadcast your stuff enough on this course, because I don't remember hearing you like boom and be like, oh, that's who that guy is.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you're going to show me who you are.
I am.
Like Nigel Benn.
Yeah.
And about Mr. Biggs as well in Perth.
Yeah.
And man, I can't wait to hear you on this call and watch your progress the rest of the year, to hear about these monthly calls you're going to be on and everything you're going to kill. So thanks so much for being on this course, trusting us, giving back to the group as much as you did. And it's been an honor having you.
It's been an absolute honor being here. So thank you so much.
Cool, man. Thank you much, man.